All right, I think we're good to go. So I know that says 60,000 subscribers special, and obviously we're way past that. So first of all, why is that? Why did it take me so long to get this video out? Well, for one, there was a lot of questions that I actually had to answer. So that was the big one. And also two, just trying to find time for me to actually record this. Between doing a few sponsorships this month and then one of the sponsors pulling out, I had to do like an extra 2 videos to kind of compensate for that. So kind of got a little busy. Then November specifically, I have like 3 family birthdays. My mom's birthday's on the 4th, my dad's birthday's on the 12th, and my brother's birthday's on the 17th. So I had to do all those birthdays like basically every other week. That also took up a lot of my time. So finally, we are here though. So this is actually going to be kind of like live, I would say. I am going to obviously be editing my I'm going to be editing my I'm going to be editing, you know, the cutting in between all the clips and stuff, so it seems a lot more smooth and not choppy. But I'm actually, on camera right now. This is the first time I have clicked on the video since I posted it a month ago. This is gonna be like my live, basically like a live reaction almost to what these questions are. I'm obviously gonna put the questions on the screen that are being asked as opposed to me just saying them out loud and stuff. But let's get this started. The first question comes from Chum is Metabolic Fuel, asking me 2 questions. First, he asked me, who is your favorite YouTuber and what's the better ice cream flavor, chocolate or vanilla? My favorite YouTuber of all time is Captain Christian. I've said this before already in my other Q&A, but I can just not stress enough like how freaking good these guys' videos are. Like, this guy's videos are just like the pinnacle of video essays. I feel like anyone that wants to make a video essay on YouTube at all should like watch all of his videos, or at least a few, and just realize like how much effort this guy puts into like the sound design, the script, the way that the scenes flow together. Everything about his video essays is what I aspire to be with my videos. I know I'm not anywhere near that right now. I think with some of my newer content I'm kind of getting there, but that is like my goal with like my content, is to get up there. But if you're asking this question like for who I watch regularly, right now I'm watching a lot of Colin and Samir, who are like 2 people that basically go over content creators on the site. I've always been fascinated with like YouTube and like how the creator community kind of unfolds and like figures out things about the algorithm, or kind of how people blow up, I guess. But yeah, I watch them. I also watch Lemino or Lemino, I don't know how to pronounce that, but other video essay guys. And then kind of like everyone else, like Nexpo inside of mine, you know, like the analog horror community, almost like those people that make those types of videos. Better ice cream flavor for me personally, chocolate all around. I think the only times I get vanilla is if I put it on something that is already chocolate. Like if I get a brownie, I'm not gonna put chocolate ice cream on a brownie. But I'd say for the most part I get chocolate all the time. Get Rocky Road, chocolate brownie ice cream, or like anything that has chocolate, dude. Chocolate's like bomb. Question 2 comes from Lain Stenhouse, or it might be Ian Stenhouse. Are you open to having help with editing your videos? I'm a video editor as part of my job and would love to help grow your channel. I'm new here, but I love your content. Can't imagine the amount of time you spend on your editing. I actually am looking for some type of editor in the near future. My only problem that I haven't like already looked for one is basically paying them. Like I am making enough money from YouTube to sustain myself, and if I were to get someone to help me with the editing, I would basically be underpaying them like the entire time, just because like I need most of the money to live, and I wouldn't feel comfortable taking money from somebody like that, especially when I know I can do the work myself. I just feel uncomfortable putting all this pressure on someone else and then having to basically, I'm taking all the income for their hard work, and I would feel the need to pay them like at least a third, because I do feel like editing the video is like 1/3 of the work, because like the first third is like research, and then the second third is me actually writing the script, and then the last third of it is actually editing. But I don't feel comfortable taking away a third of my income as of right now. Maybe when I get a little bit bigger, I'll actually look into like doing this, but I will keep your name noted if I ever get there. UA Riot asks, will you collab with any other YouTubers like LandonGu or Plagued Moth? And question 2 is horror and creepy YouTube channels dying out? I want to join the community, but I don't know if it's going to work out or not for me. I honestly don't think I would. I have attempted to collab with a few people, but my problem is, one, I don't like having like that obligation of having to, like, let's say I agree to a collab, right? Let's say that LandonGu or Plagued Moth hit me up and I agree to collab with them. I feel this weird sense of like, now I have to work around their schedule, or they have to work around mine, and I hate, the reason I even started doing YouTube in the first place was because I always hated any type of accountability in terms of like work. I like that I can go a few weeks without working, because so there's sometimes like when I get burnt out, I will just take a week off, or I'll take a few days off, and no one is there to tell me anything. I love that. I love that I can just literally do nothing today or tomorrow, and no one's telling me anything, because I think it's, for me, it's just the kind of lifestyle I need for my mental health and stuff. So having to collab, it puts a strain on my mental where I have to now really work at trying to get whatever I have done and have like a little deadline for it. And it just reminds me too much of having like a 9 to 5. I'm not a big fan of it. If I met someone that I really like, let's say that one of these other creators that I met happened to just vibe with me really well, yeah, I probably wouldn't mind doing it. But I feel like as of right now, any collabs would be like forced, like, oh, you're a big channel, I'm a big channel, we should do something together, as opposed to like, hey, I met you somewhere, now we're friends, we should do something together. It's like two different things that I would want to at least like almost like meet the person before even agreeing to anything. So maybe in the future, if I ever meet anyone and like, you know, get in tight with them, but it's not likely. And as for horror and creepy channels dying out on YouTube, I don't think so. I think that if anything, I've seen a lot more of those channels kind of like pop up now. The only thing that I feel like a lot of people are having trouble with like the horror and YouTube or creepy channel stuff is like coming up with content. I personally have like a lot of ideas that I want to get done in the near future, and I also have a lot of other ideas that aren't necessarily horror related but are in terms of like creepy videos on the internet. But I do want to go over like some of my favorite horror movies and stuff like that, and kind of explain like how scenes work out and stuff, just so I can kind of branch off from just the horror creepy YouTube stuff. But as a whole, I don't think it's dying out necessarily. I feel like I've been seeing a lot more like ARG stuff, like analog horror stuff popping up, like the Mandela catalog, Gemini Home Entertainment, Eventide Media Center. Like I feel like a lot of these newer channels are coming out with new fresh ideas. As for like actual creepy videos on the internet, I feel like right now more than any time before, there's like a plethora of like creepy stuff to explain. Like I went on TikTok for like 5 minutes the other day, and I found like 2 TikTok accounts that I really want to make videos on, but I have to get to that video first. There's plenty of ideas out there to do content on. If anything, I feel like there's not enough creepy horror YouTube channels that are going over the stuff that's there. It's like, that's why I feel like it was a good niche for me to get into, because I don't think at any point in the future will people stop making creepy stuff on the internet, and there's always going to need to be somebody there to basically explain it. So to answer your question, no, I don't think it's dying out. You should totally join, totally make a like videos or something, or maybe even make like the creepy videos that we will explain later on, because there's like 2 sides of the coin there basically. If anything, I feel like the community is growing. It might not be as fast as it was before, but it's definitely growing. So, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere anytime soon, if that's like what you're basically asking me. Next question comes from Lady Friday. It says, congrats, next up 100k, hopefully. What are your thoughts on ARGs? I mean, I like ARGs for the most part. I think that my biggest problem with most of them though is I feel like a lot of them try too hard. And what I mean by that is they try so hard to be so smart that they lose track of like the original story that they had. A big one that I think of immediately is the Wyoming incident, which is like, it felt like they had a really good start, and then they were just like, they got to a point where they were just like, fuck, where do we go from here? And that's my problem with a lot of ARGs, is that they start off really well and then they don't have an end goal. And I don't like ARGs that don't have a clear end goal. It doesn't, like, because like, what's the point of doing it, you know? So on most of them, I think that they're just unnecessary, but there's a good few hidden gems out there that I think do a good job of like representing what a good ARG should be. Obviously that's not up for me to decide, but I generally like, you know, finding out about ARGs and like discovering the cool puzzles and stuff. So I have a general liking towards them. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you visit? Number 1 on my list right now is Japan. I want to go to Japan someday. Before I go though, I want to learn the language, because I don't want to be one of those annoying English tourists that's like walking everywhere asking people stuff in English. I think that's stupid. And I also really want to extend like my own like linguistic background, I guess. So Japan is definitely like number 1 on my list right now. Do I believe in ghosts? I would say I lean more towards no, but I do believe in some type. I do think supernatural things occur, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the typical Hollywood version of ghosts, where it's like you know, white ghostly, you know, invisible thing, like, ooh, I don't believe in those types of ghosts, but I do think that there's like supernatural things out there that happen around the world. You can look a lot of the stuff up yourself. A lot of the things, the stories that changed my mind on like supernatural things was the Annabelle doll, and then I think it's Robert the doll. Like those like creepy dolls that like have like spirits in them. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll have to go visit them myself, but like hearing the stories from online, I have a good like 90% sure that that's like a real thing that goes on. Is like there are supernatural things going on in the world. Dogs or cats? I actually own both. But as of late, I have been leaning towards cats a little more. I don't know why. Because I used to be a dog person. I never even owned cats. But I think it was like almost a year and a half ago. We had like my family found 4 kittens in the back of our house behind our shed, and we took care of them. And now I have a cat who was named Hope. 2 of the other ones like ran away, and like I don't know what happened to them. We gave one away, but ever since I got that cat, I've been like just in love with my cat, dude. I don't know what it is. I like that cats are almost like people in the sense that they don't just run up to you right away after meeting you. Like you can run into anyone's house if they have a dog, you can walk up to the dog and just start being playful with it, and the dog is gonna lick you and treat you friendly no matter what. I've always been turned off of that like kind of like blind trust. And I like that cats kind of have to get to know you first before they even like bother trusting you as a person. And they're also like people. Like imagine if you're at home doing your homework, right? And I just walk up to you and I just start petting you or like trying to play with you while you're doing something, right? I like that cats are, when they're doing something and you try and play with them, they'll be like, no, leave me alone. I'm doing my own thing. Cause it's almost like humans. I think that's really neat. So as of late, I've definitely been leaning towards cats a little more. How do you create your YouTube videos? The short answer here is that I come up with the idea first. So usually the idea comes from either you guys or I have my own big list that I choose from on what I want to do this week. After I get the idea for it, research starts. I start writing my own script on it. Then I do the editing. Well, actually I do the recording first. I record the script, which is literally just me talking to like, have the screen in front of my face with the words on it. And I'm just talking into my microphone, just reading it off in like the best way that I can, I guess. After I record it, plug that bad boy, that file into Premiere Pro, and I just start putting pictures on the screen. That is literally how I make my videos. Takes me around like a week on average, I would say. Any advice for people who want to make their own videos? Know what you're in for. It's a lot of work. If you can pick something that is easily replicable, meaning like you can make videos very often and they're also unique, that's like the key to YouTube, is like making stuff that you like is easy to make and and is like actually watchable on YouTube. That's like the 3 big like golden things you really need for anything on here. But for a bigger answer on this, I would go to my other Q&A. I answered it very thoroughly. I'll link it in the description and I'll put like the timestamp that it's at. What do you do for fun in your spare time? Usually I'll just be seeing my girlfriend or I'll go see my friends. I love bowling. I love playing competitive Melee, which is like a Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. I go to tournaments sometimes. Or on my off days, I'll actually just like literally just sit in my bed with like my VR headset on, or I'll have like just like, my AirPods in and I have like my little like my sleeping mask on. I'll just listen to ASMR because sometimes like I just need to relax, and I've always been a big fan of ASMR videos just because when I would go to like the eye doctors or like the regular doctors, I would get really sleepy from the way they would speak, and I realized it was because like of the soft spoken tone. So sometimes I'll just relax by literally just laying in my bed and listening to ASMR stuff. But for the most part, I'd say the big 2 are spending time with my girlfriend and probably Melee. I play Melee like all the time. Next question comes from PaxtonPods. When you're done with the chart of truth, will you put them all together to make one really long video? Yes, I will. That's my plan with all the series on my channel, but my problem is I don't want to do it right away. So I want to finish the Disneyland series, the Disturbing Media series, and the Chart of Truth series. I think once I finish the Disneyland and the Disturbing Media series, I'm going to be putting all those individually into their own big videos, because I have the Scooby-Doo one too. Also the Scooby-Doo iceberg that I still have yet to like put into one video. I'm gonna be uploading them all separate though. Like one random day, you're probably gonna see like 6 separate uploads of like just all the icebergs on my channel uploaded as one big file. But yeah, once that whole series is done, I do plan on putting out a video that's like That's probably gonna be like almost like 15 hours long or something, dude. I can't even imagine how long that's gonna be, but I hope that I can get that done, because that's gonna be sick. This one comes from my friend Justin. Our username is JKT. When are we teaming again? Whenever we can, dude. There's, I don't know, I haven't even been going to tournaments a lot myself. But if I end up going to like a big tournament, dude, I'll hit you up, obviously. Besides creepy, disturbing content, is there anything else that interests you? My biggest interest in movies and stuff right now is the technical aspects, like how the movies are made, why writers and actors do the things they do on screen. I also have a lot of like opinion pieces I really want to do. Like one of the ones I want to talk about is why my all-time favorite Pixar movie is Ratatouille, because I feel like that movie does a lot of things right that a lot of the other Pixar movies don't do right. And I have a lot of these like little opinions on stuff that I would love to just like explore in like a video essay, I would say. I know you're focusing on YouTube, but is there any passion projects you like to work on besides YouTube? It's actually a really good question. Besides doing YouTube, a lot of my passion projects come from like my relationship with my girlfriend. I made 2 escape rooms for her. I'll actually go grab the other one I made real quick. I was originally gonna grab it, but I realized I could just take a video of it later. So I'm gonna be showing on screen what I made my girlfriend. I made her this like escape room box where it was on I think it was on our anniversary or Valentine's Day. You open it up, you get to like figure out a puzzle to open it up first. After you open it, there's like 3 boxes inside of it. You have to open all these boxes, and then the last puzzle is opening this like box that's connected to the top, and like it just opens with a magnet. But I built this entire thing like just offhandedly. So this is like one of my passion projects that I love. The only reason I really wanted to do it was because I like working with wood. I do a lot of like wood projects. Like I made my girlfriend a planter, made my dad an arcade machine, made myself an arcade machine. I do a lot of like woodworking stuff. I really love working with wood, just because I feel like it's so sick seeing like the finished product and being able to like stain it and make it look pretty. I do a lot of like wood passion projects in my spare time, and like a lot of them, I would say like my 2 biggest ones were definitely because of my girlfriend. So yeah, that shit's dope. Next question comes from B_XLI. What do you feel about icebergs? Who inspired you to do icebergs? Who are the Vanderstinks? And will you do a review of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? So the first question, what do you feel about icebergs? I fucking love icebergs. The first iceberg I ever saw was a thumbnail that said Super Mario 64 iceberg. I think it was like one of the original ones that came out. Like there was a video that started the whole iceberg trend. I think that one was it. I never clicked on it, but I saw it. And then I remember I saw Wendigoon's first disturbing movie Iceberg. And I remember that day specifically because I was like, what the fuck is an iceberg? So I'm kind of going to answer your first 2 questions in the same thing. So seeing Wendigoon's Iceberg on the disturbing movies, I was like cleaning my car out or something to see my girlfriend. Like I was cleaning everything out of my car. I was getting ready for the day. And I was just listening to this guy talk about these disturbing movies. And I remember I knew a lot about I thought I knew a lot about disturbing movies. I had seen like Salo. I had seen like a lot of the stuff that was on layer 3 I had seen. And when he told me it was on layer 3, I was like, holy shit. And I remember I watched the entire thing that day because I was just cleaning out my car, listening to it. And the only thing that I wanted to do different from him, which was like, I guess you could say like that video inspired me. Like that specific video inspired me to do icebergs. But the one thing that I really wanted to do that I feel like no one else was really doing well was showing footage of whatever was being talked about and doing it in a really smooth way. Because the thing I think a lot of people love about Wendigoon is that his channel is so approachable. Like it feels like you're having a conversation with your friend, and everyone loves that. That's why he blew up so fast. I try to do the same thing with my content, but I show you the visuals. So it's very unique to like have like these creepy visuals on screen, but the voice and the music in the background is nowhere near the same vibe. So it creates this like really weird, I would say like sense of like ooh in like the viewer. So definitely got inspired to do icebergs from that video. I love iceberg charts as a whole because I feel like it's really cool knowing when you see something you thought was like a deep thought in like layer 2 or 3, it kind of sucks you in. You're like, oh, that's so cool. And I just love that like knowing that there's more to it than just what you already know. I love that. Who are the Vanderstinks? I don't know how to answer that question, dude. But you know what I will say, I'm supposed to do a video on the Vanderstink ARG that like I went over in the disturbing website video. I actually had somebody hit me up recently. I haven't replied to his email in like a month, and it's just because like I'm too busy with other videos that I just, when I do the Vanderstink ARG video, I want to have a really well thought out video. I don't want to rush it. So I have that video planned. So maybe we'll find out who the Vanish Tanks are in that video. But I don't have an answer for that right now. Will you do a review about Don't Hungry I'm Scared? Yes, 100%. Once they drop the show, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing that day and just watch the entire thing. And I'm going to do a full analysis and break down on like that series. Because that series is like one of the like big reasons why I'm even doing like creepy content. It was like one of my first introductions into like the genre, I would say. So yeah, I would love to do a review of that. I love that series. Next question comes from Blaise. My questions are: what gave you motivation to start your channel? What is your favorite movie or TV series? Finally, in relation to movies or TV shows, do you have any childhood trauma? Basically, something you saw as a kid that just was pure nightmare fuel. What gave you motivation to start your channel? So the biggest one for me is having a voice. I know this sounds really weird, but I just feel like there's like always been this almost like a middleman on YouTube where like I feel like with anything on social media nowadays, you either have to be full left or full right on any argument. Like talking about literally any situation on YouTube, you have to be either 100% on this side or 100% on this side. And I feel like that mentality, there's a group in the middle that's left out that's like me. Like the majority of people, I would say. Where you look at it as objectively as you can. You're like, well, some of this side is right, but also some of this side is right. And I would love to have me be like the representation for that voice. I love giving my opinions out and stuff. And I just really wanted to make a channel to have it get big and just be able to like have my voice be heard on stuff that I enjoyed, I guess. Just because I feel like I have good ideas when it comes to anything that I've observed in life. And that was like my biggest motivational factor for starting my channel, was I myself wanted to point out stuff and have a voice on the platform. But the second biggest motivation for me is just making videos. I love making videos. I've always, since I was like 9, I've always like been obsessed with just being able to put a camera in front of me and tell a story. It just always blew my mind that like you could capture moments in time and like put them together and tell a story with it. It's so like I would say like making videos and being like having a voice on like social media in general is like the biggest 2 motivational factors for me right now. I'll actually answer both of these because I feel like they're both separate questions. Favorite movie of all time, I actually just changed it. It was originally Ratatouille. I loved Ratatouille ever since I was a kid. Ratatouille is my favorite all-time movie. I could not go like a month without watching that movie. Every time I think about that movie, I think of the first time that I watched it when I was 7. Had a big bowl of spaghetti in front of me, or actually a big plate of spaghetti in front of me. It was a big plate with a big Shasta cola from like the dollar store, like the cheap off-brand cola, and a big movie, like a big TV screen in front of me, just watching Ratatouille for the first time. And every time I watch that movie, I get that feeling again. But my all-time favorite movie right now is La La Land. I love that movie. The vibe that it captures, the story it tells, and like the emotions that I felt while watching that movie, and the way that it ended. I feel like it had everything that I love about movies in general. Like it had very deep connections, like the stuff you had to look closer than just at surface level to understand. And it also just told a good surface level story. And I think that just La La Land as a whole is like, I love that like jazz classic vibe that it gave off. I feel like I love that shit. And my favorite TV series, easily Regular Show. I think Regular Show is one of the only shows on TV that really captured me. Like even as an adult, like just watching this show, I was like, wow, you can really make a show about literally anything. And if you just tell a good enough story, people will watch it. And I feel like that show does it better than anything else that I've watched. I feel like it just captures like the nonchalant attitude of the current generation, and it dives deeper into like just being stupid on screen and like the way the characters interact with each other and everything. I'll probably make a video on it in the future, why it's like one of my favorite shows of all time. But Regular Show is definitely one of those shows that holds a special place in my heart every time I see it. Any childhood trauma from movies or TV shows? Toy Story. This is gonna sound so stupid, but there's a video on the internet called Toy Story Secrets. It's like a 12-second video, not even that bad. There's a big jump scare in it, and this video is probably the only reason I don't do jump scares on my channel. Like, I'm being completely transparent. This video is the reason I don't do jump scares on my channel. I'm gonna link it below if you guys want to watch it yourself. It's literally the most tame jump scare video you could watch. It doesn't even have like anything like come at the screen like some other videos do. It has the "You Got a Friend in Me" theme song playing. It's like, you've got a friend. It has that song playing the entire time, and at the end it cuts off and you see a clown mask, like a big scary clown mask, and then it's a really loud scream. And the first time I saw that, I was at my grandma's house. We're watching it on my Wii on her big CRT TV, and it came on, and I ever since that day, every time I hear that song, that You Got a Friend in Me song, even now that I've watched the video several times myself and not been scared, when I hear that song, my heart jumps a little bit and I'm like, what the fuck? So like, that is just one of those things that I don't think will ever go away, no matter how old I am. My actual IRL friend Marcus Gomez asked me, where is the delicious, tasty Dumptruck iceberg? At 1 million subs. What is your advice to someone whose dad left them when they were a child? Should I start viewing this traumatic experience as me leaving my dad instead, so I don't feel so bad? What do you think? I'm gonna actually give advice on this because I do feel like some people struggle with this, but I'm pretty sure that you're just asking me this because it's a joke. To explain the joke to people, like I'd say like three, me included, 3 out of my friends in our little friend group have like family problems. Like 2 of our dads aren't in our lives, and one of us has divorced parents. So like that's probably what, yeah. And we always joke about it. But advice, if you actually do have someone, like if your dad actually did leave, even though I don't have like personal experience with that, it's just like you just gotta go on with life, man. It's one of those things where you can harp on it as long as you want, and you could like long to want to talk to your parent as much as you want, but if that person doesn't want to be involved in your life, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Because I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, just speaking from like knowing a bunch of people in my life that have that, the ones that do better in life are the ones that don't let it bother them, and the ones that do worse in life are the ones that harp on it their entire lives. So if you're going through that situation right now, just try your best to realize that you're better off without them. Nicname says, throughout your disturbing icebergs, what was the item that messed with your brain the most? What item from the icebergs have you related to the most? I'm going to start with the second question first, because that one's a little easier for me. So which item that I relate to the most? I think out of all the ones I related to the most, the one that really got me out of all the stuff I put on any of my icebergs was Die Fantasy. That music video, it was my first real experience with like creepy stuff on the internet. And so I remember watching a video of somebody explaining it to me, and I was like, wow, that's so crazy. Like that video is about like growing up and stuff, and like when I grew up, I went through like all the stuff that the guy described of like having your innocence taken away, not being able to get it back, looking at like the window of your innocence, like, and you can't attain it back like that. It's just crazy to me how much truth there is to that, and I would love to like actually make a video going deeper on that, because it's one of those videos that I feel like just doesn't get enough attention, even though it's like been years. I've been obsessed with that video, and it's one of those things that every time I look at it, I'm like, that's like my life, bro. Why did it mess with your brain the most? So when I was researching the Blank Room Suit video, even though that video is fake, there was one instance I've told people on my live stream about it, if you ever caught me on a live stream. But basically what happened was, one night I was slaving away. I worked like 12 hours that day. From the morning, it was about 8:30 p.m. when I was like wrapping up. Basically, I'm in my room. It's completely pitch black in my room besides my monitors. I'm researching the Blank Room Suit video, and I'm just trying to find evidence on anything. And I'm going through a bunch of forums, and I finally click on one forum link that I think is going to give me my answers, and it links me to a tab that makes my whole screen go black, and it just says in like bright white text, "Your game has started. Don't trust anybody." And right when I read that, like 10 seconds later, my girlfriend called me on Discord. And so just to explain why this freaked me out. So one, our relationship, we always text before we're gonna call. Like it's like at that point in time, we get communicated to each other. If you're going to call me, just text me. And also, we've never ever called on Discord like that. At that point, that was the first ever time she had called me on Discord in that manner. So it was like freaky for me. I was like, that's fucking weird. Why is she calling me at 8:30 p.m. too? Because she had just gotten off work at 8, which means that she had to go home and get on Discord on her computer to call me. So I was freaking the fuck out, because I was like, what the fuck, is like my girlfriend fake? I don't know, like, am I gonna get killed right now? What game is going on? If you've ever seen the movie, I think it's called The Game, with like Michael J. Douglas or something, that is how I felt. I didn't know what was real or what wasn't. And then I ended up looking at my phone, and I see like 13 missed calls, and I was like, oh shit. Turns out she was outside to surprise me for like passing my real estate exam, and I was like, Holy shit. But even walking outside, just seeing, like, trying to trying to like figure out if I'm actually being bamboozled or whatnot, walking outside, that was like the most scared I've ever been in my life. So like that one is the one that messes with me the most, like 100%. Next question comes from Goth Clown. Also, thank you for congratulating me on the 60,000 subscribers. Am I in college? And if so, what's my major? I am not in college, but I actually just stopped doing college this year. I was in college a few months back. I was going to college for graphic design. And it's honestly been kind of sick having like being like a graphic design major, because like now I don't really need help with like my thumbnails or anything. You guys notice my thumbnails are like, I would say on the higher quality end for the most part. And it's because I've been able to take like my knowledge from college. That kind of rhymed. I've been able to take my knowledge from classes and able to like implement it into this part of my life now. I can honestly make a big video on that though, like dropping out of college and stuff, because I actually wasn't, when I went to college at first, I was a straight A student for like a few months. Then I got straight Fs, flunked out. Then I had to appeal to get back into college. I had like all this like problems with like school and stuff. And when I finally fixed it and was actually doing good in school, I just ended up quitting because YouTube paid more. So yeah, so that's what I used to do in college. Soul, you will get in the video. You are in the video. You happy? Nah, just kidding. What do you think about pineapple on pizza? I personally don't like it. If you like it, that's all you, man. My girlfriend loves pineapple on pizza. If we get pizza, I'll get half pineapple, half not pineapple. I don't care. She doesn't care, but I don't prefer it myself, to be honest. But to be fair, I don't like pineapple. So I don't think it's a good question to ask me. Milk before cereal or cereal before milk? Cereal before milk, please, for the love of God. If you pour the milk and then the cereal, that's just weird, bro. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because I've done that since I was a kid, but like I've always poured cereal first and then the milk right after. For me, it just seemed more normal, but I guess it doesn't really matter which way you do it. But yeah, cereal before milk. What game franchises are you a fan of? I love Undertale. I see that you wrote that in there. I love Undertale myself. I think it's one of the few games that it's really cool to see like someone from just like an unknown community make a game like that, and it's so good. I also loved Doki Doki Literature Club. I obviously love Melee. Other big franchises I love, Infamous, which is a game that's on PlayStation. I love Infamous, that entire series of games. I played like all of them. I also love the Sly Cooper series. I love playing FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's, I feel like it's gotten better like every year. I think once 4 came out, they kind of strayed away from the original formula, which is what I wanted, because I feel like they were just relying on the same jump scares every game, but they finally kind of figured out like a better formula. But yeah, I would say like those are definitely the games that like first come to my mind. If I can honestly talk about it more, I would. But those are the first games that came to mind like immediately. I also love Call of Duty, but not like the newer ones. The ones I loved when they came out were Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2. So I actually play Black Ops 3 a lot. I play a lot of modded zombies. I love modded maps. If you guys ever want to see me do like modded maps or something, maybe I'll stream it one day, because I loved like soloing the modded maps myself. Sometimes I'll just do that myself, like in my room. I love like Black Ops 3 zombies. Like just Black Ops zombies in general is one of my all-time favorite things to do as well. Tech Ninja, what do you feel when your most researched videos do not get enough attention, and how do you keep yourself motivated? This is a fantastic question. I really want to make a video just on this one question, because it's not hard, but it's definitely like damn, you know, why did I work so hard? You got to go into YouTube knowing that every video isn't going to be a hit. But when I do, you know, a lot of research on something and it doesn't, doesn't reach what I want it to, you just got to brush it off and, you know, ask yourself, was that even a good video idea to begin with? And don't convince yourself that it is, because sometimes like a good one on my channel is like the video I did on Eventide Media Center. It's a great video. I think I did a good job piecing together a story. Even though that story is not true, it pieced together a really good story for it. But at the end of the day, I asked myself, who's watching Eventide Media Center, right? There's not a big enough audience to like for me to gain any like real, you know, views from that. If anything, I might have given it more attention by making a video on it. But I'd say for the most part, I try not to let it get to myself. There was one time with the disturbing website iceberg specifically, where like I was really like, if this video doesn't do good, I'm probably just gonna be like done for like a few weeks, like, because sometimes like I really like strain myself like trying to find all the information I need. But the one thing that keeps me motivated throughout the entire thing is just knowing that I'm creating a backlog. Like, let's say years down the line, right? I look back at my channel and I see my Eventide Media Center video, right? And I'm like, oh my God, it has 200,000 views. I remember when it only had 10,000 views. Knowing that me making more videos in the future will inadvertently bring attention to my lesser viewed videos is what keeps me going a lot of the time. Because knowing that if you just push through this fucking barrier, you will reap the benefits at the end. That's one of the biggest things that keeps me going. And I have like screenshots after screenshots. I'm planning on when I hit 1 million subs, like showing people all these screenshots from like when I had like 1,000 subscribers and having like 1,000 views on the video. And that was like my peak. Some of the videos on my channel that had 50 views for like 2 months are now at over like 300,000 views. And you gotta like think about it like that. Like you gotta think about like you can get any video to any number and it can happen at any point in time for no reason of your own. Like some of my videos blew up just for randomly no reason, and it can happen at any time. And like thinking about it like this and this kind of mindset is what helps me like move past it, I guess, and just do the next video idea without worrying about it. Venga Ya asked the next question. Congrats, I've been a subscriber since 40k. That's awesome. I'm awesome to hear that you've been here since like 40k. That's so cool. Do you play video games? If the answer is yes, which one is the one you think you spent the most hours on? I'm Spanish, so maybe the sentence at the beginning sounds weird. No worries. Like I totally get trying to speak English, dude. I wish I could speak in Spanish because I would love to answer this question in Spanish. I do play video games. I love video games. Video games are like one of my favorite pastimes. The two that come to my mind that I spend the most hours on are Black Ops 3 Zombies, specifically the modded maps. And the two specific maps I play the most are this McDonald's map that's really stupid, and I also play this Pokemon map that came out. There are better maps out there, like way better maps out there, but those two are just like my favorites for some reason. And the other game I play a lot is Melee. I love playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. Play on slippy.gg, which is like a program you can use to play online. Play the game all the fucking time. I love that game. Glad to hear that you're watching the channel, even since 40,000 subscribers. That's super cool. But yeah, I'd say those two are definitely the ones I spend the most hours on. Smasher491, what inspired you to create your channel? As a whole, just I already answered it earlier, but I'll give a different answer to this question because there's a lot that inspired me. One of the biggest things was knowing that I can talk about theories and conspiracies and like creepy stuff on the internet and have people watch it was one of my like, holy shit, that's so cool that I can talk about what I love. So that's definitely one of my biggest inspirations going into YouTube. If you get big enough, will you do YouTube full time? I'm actually already doing YouTube full time. So like you can kind of get a breakdown, I would say, of how much I'm making. The last 3 months, I've made over, I think it's 13,000. The last 3 months combined. That's around, let's do the math. That is around like 4,000 per month. I wasn't even making that working 40 hours a week at the supermarket. So I've been throwing myself at my videos and like it's been paying off because like obviously if I am dedicating all my time to doing YouTube full time, my videos are going to be better quality and they're going to get more views, which means more money and so on and so forth. So I'm already doing YouTube full time. I think a lot of people don't think I am for some reason, just because I'm not uploading every day. But the days I'm not uploading, I'm spending time making the video as best as I can. So that's why you don't see me as active as everyone else, but I am already doing YouTube full time. What YouTubers do you look up to, if any? I look up to Mr. Beast because I think that he is one of the few that cracked the code. A lot of people think that YouTube is lucky. They think YouTube is all luck based. You can start a channel and have shit content and you'll get lucky and get 1 million subs. That's completely fucking like wrong, dude. You can get somewhere on YouTube as long as your content's good. Watching Mr. Beast interviews, I got to know like kind of the system, I guess, and like what works and what doesn't. So seeing him doing big shit on the channel, on his channel, is like freaking sick. And also, I already answered earlier, but Captain Christian. I look up to Captain Christian a lot because I think that is the pinnacle of video essays on YouTube. I love that guy's channel. I love it to death. I will die on that hill 100% of the time that he makes the best video essays. But yeah. Quite Contrary asks, if you could eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Pizza. Fucking love pizza, dude. I honestly think I've eaten so much pizza that I've developed like, I'm pretty sure this can happen too. I think I've eaten so much pizza that I've become lactose intolerant a little bit because I've noticed like more stomach issues when I eat pizza now. But there's been literal days in a row where I'll just pizza. I love pizza. So if you ever see me in public and you want to treat me somehow like something nice, bring me a pizza. It can be literally any pizza. I love Little Caesars. I love Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, your local pizza chains. any pizza, even pizza from the cafeteria. I love that shit. I don't know why everyone hate on that, but I love pizza. What's your favorite music genre or musical artist? Favorite music genre? I love, there's like 3 that come to my mind like immediately. Rap, I love K-pop, and I also like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like a mix between like lo-fi and like pop music. I don't know what genre that would be though, but the rap music specifically, the 3 artists I listen to more than anyone else as of right now is Lil Dicky, but not his new stuff. I only listen to his old stuff. So like the songs that, if you guys want to get an idea for what I'm listening to from him, listen to Russell Westbrook on a Farm and Really Scared. I'll link them both below. Those are the 2 songs I listen to all the time. I love those 2 songs. Kendrick Lamar, I think To Pimp a Butterfly is obviously like the best album of hip hop like out there ever. I think that is one of my inspirations as well. Seeing like him take music to the next level like that was insane. So I love Kendrick, and I also love Logic. I think Logic, my favorite album of his is The Incredible True Story. The Incredible True Story is my favorite album because it's one of the few that doesn't tell any story that happened. It's not based in reality. It's based in the future. And I love that he told a whole story based on basically this thing that he made up in his mind. Because I feel like a lot of rap music is always like how you struggled and how you made it to where you are today. And I want to hear like stories. I love that he created his own original story and wrote an album for it, and it got good and it sounds great. And the transition from, I think it's from the song Run It to the Lucidity scene to The Incredible True Story, that 3-song transition is like fucking perfect. And I love that album to death. So that's definitely like the big 3 I listen to all the time. Do you have any pet peeves? Yeah, I hate when people walk too damn slow in front of me. I think everyone hates that. But I also hate when people don't get to the fucking point about stuff, which is ironic because I don't think I get to the point sometimes. Especially like I probably haven't done it in this Q&A at all. But I try to be as to the point as possible. But if I'm listening to your story and I'm like, holy fuck, like I hate when people can't get to the fucking point. So like those 2 are like definitely like biggest pet peeves. Evolvinggenius, congrats. My question is, what are your favorite TV shows? I'll give you a different answer because I'm not going to say regular show again. But the 2 that I watch the most out of any other show besides regular show, Friends is like 100% like the show I watch the most. I love Friends. I grew up with Friends when I was a little kid. When I was like 6 years old, I was watching that show. Had all the DVDs. Love that series. That entire series from start to finish is like one of my favorite things to watch ever. I love all the jokes. I know I can quote that series like back of my hand. Dude, I love that series. And The Office, the dry humor that The Office has is perfect for me. And like being able to experience the deleted scenes off Peacock is like one of the best things ever. So those 2 shows are also standouts for me. Ralsei Gaming asks, what's your favorite cryptid? Also, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you? For me, it has to be skinwalkers showed up in front of my grandpa's truck late at night in Maine. They look like crackheads, but then someone morphed into this thing and ran and disappeared. That's pretty scary, dude. That's pretty wild. Favorite cryptid? I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what cryptids are. Let me look it up real quick. I probably do know what they are, but I probably never like really like, oh, that's what a cryptid is. Oh, you know what? The one, it's gonna sound so basic, bro, but Bigfoot, dude. I think it's just after I did the Chart of Truth iceberg on that Bigfoot story, I was like, that's so fascinating that like there's like this whole backstory of like a slaughter of like Bigfoots. So like that's definitely one of my favorites immediately. Weirdest thing that ever happened to me. I have a great story for that. So when I was around, I think it was 9 or 10, my mom was really religious. My grandma was really religious as well. Took me to a Catholic church when I was around 10 years old. I found a Crash Bandicoot action figure doll under my seat. I grabbed said doll and I took it home. And from the moment I took that thing home, I had nightmares for days straight about that doll. There was one where I was like, I can remember right now. I was like golfing. I was playing mini golf at this really weird golfing place. It was like really weird morphed hills. That thing, I walk into the boomers that I'm at. The lights shut off, and he's just in the corner, and he's fucking huge, and he's chasing me. And then there's another dream where I remember there's this big bowl of mac and cheese in front of me, and he appears in front of me in the dark, and his eyes are like psychedelic eyes glowing, and the room just gets psychedelic, and I just start freaking the fuck out. And I remember I'm pretty sure I was dreaming, but I swear to God this had to have happened. I woke up one night and the way my bed was set up was, here's my bed, and then here's my computer stand. Like, I have like a desk. Like, at the end of my bed, my desk begins, and then my computer's there. I had him right there at the end, facing the door. So he's facing this way, and my bed's this way. I swear to God, one night I woke up, and he went, and he looked right at me, and I don't know if I was dreaming or if I saw that or if it's real or not, but that shit fucked me up a lot when I was a kid. This question comes from DAIjehni or DAIjehni. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. In a previous video, you stated, I believe most people have become desensitized to violence. Would you say that also applies to yourself based on your research of this subject? There are images, videos I've seen online that will forever be burned into my memory. I wish I could unsee it, but alas, that is not possible. Yeah. Well, you know, I think a lot of my opinions that I kind of say out loud are almost like a representation of myself sometimes. But yeah, I would say that I'm definitely become desensitized to violence, but it's only because from a young age, like when I was like, you know, 9 or 10, when I had access to the internet, I looked up a lot of stuff. That was when, like, I would say during the 2010s was like peak gore porn on YouTube, on like not YouTube, but like literally the internet. You could look up anything and you'll find it. I remember seeing a video of like a girl after a car crash, and her entire face is literally skinned off and it's hanging from her, like Silence of the Lamb style, like literally just like, you know. And I remember seeing shit like that, and like after seeing it so many times, I just eventually became like desensitized to the entire thing. Like, there's not many things that could, like, you know, scare me nowadays in terms of like making me feel that like bottom pit emotion. So yeah, I would say it definitely applies to me. There is still some stuff though. There is definitely still stuff on the internet that when I see it, I go, what the fuck? And like I get like that feeling again. But it's not too often. But when I do see it, it's fucked up. So yeah. Sean Hoey asks, here's the important question when he answers to Coke or Pepsi. I don't drink soda anymore, but when I did drink soda, Coke, baby. I love Coke. But you know what? The only Pepsi that I will die on the hill for, that I wish they would bring back, is Crystal Pepsi. I remember when it came back for a little bit, I tried it and I was like, why is this hit so different than like regular Pepsi? But Crystal Pepsi and regular Coke, the two drinks I drink that I would drink if I drink soda anymore. But I don't anymore, but Coke. RoughedUp, do you plan on doing a series for something unrelated to icebergs? Also, congrats. I kind of was already doing a series that's kind of unrelated to icebergs. If you look at my channel, I have like, I think it's 3 videos out right now. I think it's the what happened to 9, what happened to Push, and what happened to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. That was a little series I had going on for a little bit, but I kind of stopped it because the icebergs kind of took over my channel. But I'm definitely gonna go back to that eventually, because I love that, like, what happened to this thing. I love finding out things and explaining what happened to them. So that's definitely a series I'm gonna be looking to do it again, like bring back. Hola asks, what's your favorite urban legend? What's your favorite iceberg you've done? And what's your favorite weird YouTube video? Favorite urban legend. So there's if you guys ever watched Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, you might know about this one. But there's this story where this dad was a sleepwalker. This guy slept walk everywhere. He would wake up in his sleep and he would just walk out of his house sometimes. And there's one night where he gets up, he sleepwalks, and he disappears. And in the morning, the mom goes to the daughter to like talk to her, and she sees the daughter playing with a new doll in her dollhouse. And what's the doll? It's the dad. It's the exact figurine of the dad, clothes and all, before he disappeared. My all-time favorite urban legend. I've never looked into it further than literally just that, but I fucking loved that as a kid. I was like, that's creepy, that's cool, and I hope it's a real story. But yeah, that was definitely one of the ones I was like, whoa. Favorite iceberg I've done, Disneyland iceberg. I will die. I will die for that series. That series is so good. I love that entire like looking into like the old rides and stuff, because I used to go on a lot of the rides myself. I've been on like almost all those rides, and like it's crazy because my mom used to be obsessed with Disneyland. She got me obsessed with it. So being able to like relive the history of my life through like doing that iceberg, like it's been super awesome, a little bit emotional as well, but I love that iceberg series. What's your favorite weird YouTube video? Said it earlier, Die Fantasy though. Die Fantasy is for sure my favorite weird YouTube video. If you go watch it right now, you will not regret it. I'll probably make a video on it in the future because I love that video to death, but that video for sure. I think this is iqixd or lqlxd. Will you make vlogs or gameplay videos? I do plan on it in the future. I plan on making a channel calling it Your Everyday Gamer, putting out content on like you know, the games I play, League, Melee, Black Ops, just random gameplay videos. So I do plan on it in the future. Vlogs, probably won't, just because I don't think my life's that interesting, to be honest. Just being me in my room playing games, so maybe not. lilchemfluid asks the same question. What's your favorite food? Pizza, baby. Say it again, cause I love pizza. Pizza. JovoUchiha asks, are you going to play games like first time playing videos? Do you have any pets? What do you do in your free time? Nothing personal. Do you have epilepsy? What was your goal of starting your channel? Kind of a lot to unpack, but let's start it. Are you ever going to play games like first time playing videos? Probably not. Because I know a lot of people would want me to do scary games, and maybe no one knows about me, but I'm a big fucking pussy. There's a reason I don't put jump scares in my videos, dude. Yeah, I'm a big pussy when it comes to like actually getting scared and stuff. So like, unless the game is like a fun game, yeah, I'll do a first time playing it. But I'm never gonna do probably won't ever do like first time playing like scary games, because I'm too scared to do it. Do you have any pets? I have 5 dogs and 1 cat. I used to have 6 dogs, and I also used to have 4 cats. But now we're down to 5 dogs and 1 cat. But long story, but yeah, I do have a lot of pets. What do you do in your free time? You know what? The one I'm gonna answer this a little differently too, because I do other stuff in my free time as well. Just besides that, the one big thing that I've been doing a lot in my free time recently, like literally specifically like these last 2 weeks, detailing my car. I know it sounds so stupid and weird, but I bought a bunch of detailing stuff. I got a power washer, I got the foam blaster, I got a vacuum for my car. I got all this stuff to clean my car, and I've been cleaning my car like once every few days, like nice cleaning, like detailing the inside, cleaning out the little crumbs from like the cup holders. Like I've been really getting into like cleaning my car out for some reason. I think it's because my old car was so fucking dirty all the time that I want to keep this new car that I got clean all the time. Do you have epilepsy or anything like that? I don't have anything like that. I think I do have some tics though. Like specifically, like I had this thing on my neck. You guys have probably seen it on my live streams, where like I do this like weird thing on my neck. I don't know what that is, but I think it's like a tick. But I don't have like any like crazy stuff like epilepsy or anything. What was your goal of starting your channel? At first, the very first goal of starting my channel was I want to make videos on cartoon theories, like game theory, like MatPat. That was my first goal of starting my channel. I just wanted to get big. I always wanted to just be a big channel on YouTube. That was my only goal when I started this channel. It's since changed a little bit now, but that was my first goal. It's just I want to get big and I want to do theories. Stinger says, are you packing? What's your favorite football team? I'd have one if I watched football. So you're probably disappointed hearing that, but I'm sorry, bro. I wouldn't even be able to tell you one off like the top. I don't know enough about football to give you an answer to that. So I feel bad. I'm still gonna include this question because I want you to know that I don't watch football, but sorry. Brosnan, what's your favorite or least favorite videos on your channel, and why are they that way? That's a good question. Let's do a little live section real quick. All right, here's my channel, guys. Let's look. Worst video on my channel. That's a great question. It's so easy for me to give an answer to this. I'm always gonna like say it's one of like my older videos, but I wanna give you a real answer, meaning that you're obviously referring to my newer stuff. So of my newer stuff, the video that I looked at and I was like, probably this video, my Back to the Future video. If you watch it, it's just me summarizing Back to the Future for like the first 4 minutes, and then the actual theory gets into like, it's literally just 3 minutes, and I feel like it's just not that good, to be honest. I didn't think it was amazing or anything. Another video though, if you're gonna like really die on that hill of, if you're gonna really ask me that question, I guess, is probably this one, my Phineas and Ferb video. It's so stupid, dude. I don't even know what that theory meant. I watched it over and I'm like, I know what I was trying to get at, but it just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like I've come a long way from that, but definitely those 2 videos for sure. I think all my other videos are pretty okay for the most part. But yeah, definitely those 2. All right, Paul Brosnan asks again, where do you live? Dude, you already know I can't answer that. No, just kidding. He says, I'm joking. I want to know what the video making process looks like. How do you come up with ideas? How do you write scripts? How long does it take you to record from start to finish? Let's actually jump into this. I'll actually give you a little breakdown almost of what that would entail. First thing I'm ever gonna do when I do this is I either go to YouTube and I go to my channel and I'll just look at the comments sometimes. Let me actually sign in so I can actually show you how I see the comments. Let's go to analytics. We'll go to comments. Sometimes I'll literally scroll through this entire thing and just see if anyone's written any like video ideas. If there's a video idea I like, I take it. I'm gonna go take that video idea. I'm gonna go make a video on it. So like one of the ideas I got for the first time was the idea of Baphomet-kun. So I'll kind of use that as an example because that one took a lot of work and it's a really good example of what I did. So for Baphomet-kun, I literally just typed in Baphomet-kun, found the channel. I was like, all right, let's do this. Watched all 60 videos. You can even see it right here. I haven't even I've watched all the videos that I could at the time, and I immediately if it's for something like this, like a channel deep dive, I did it for the Mandela catalog video. I did it for this one too. So like for the Mandela catalog video, I made a timeline script where I wrote down the timeline. I made another script that was like the actual that was going over big questions. What are the questions I need to ask and answer? What's video 1 about? What's video 2 about? What's video 3 about? I basically did that for the same. I did that for the Baphomet-kun video. Let me see if I can find that script. All right, so this was my Baphomet-kun video. For this one, I literally, again, I said it earlier, I wrote down all the names. I wrote video 1, what is it called? Video 2, what is it called? All 60 videos, I did that for it, right? Around here, I stopped because I didn't need to write down anything. I was able to piece it together in my head. But for the most part, I was watching each video, writing down what I thought about it so I could remember everything. After I get the initial feel for whatever my theory is, then I start writing the script. Then I actually go here and I'll write, okay, let's start the script. I did that for the Mandela catalog video because in the Mandela catalog video, it was really complicated. I got the timeline first, and then I had the questions I wanted to ask first, and then I actually wrote the script. These are all 3 separate documents that I wrote separately of each other because I needed to like organize my thoughts. So after I do all that, I will sit in front of my camera. I'll open Audacity, and I will just read off the script the way I want it to be read off. And then we'll go into my editing software. So here's what my editing software looks like when the video is all done. When the video is not all done, let's say I'm starting a new video for the first time ever, I will open up, I have a video template file that I open up. If I have anything in there, I delete everything. The reason I have this template is because it has the end card, it has my music that I use, and it has like just the basic stuff that I need, my transitions and all my presets and stuff. So theoretically, let's say I just recorded a script, I'll throw it in there. And then the next thing I'll do usually is listen to the entire audio and I'll cut it down to size. So this was the Mandela catalog audio. This audio was 48 minutes. The actual video was only 30 minutes if you watch it, see? And that's because 18 minutes of this was me fucking up my script, basically. So I'll go through and cut out all the fuck ups and I'll listen to it one last time to make sure it sounds smooth and how I want it to sound. And then I'll actually put the video on there. So that is my most basic process summed up in a few words. It's literally getting the idea, writing it out, recording it, and then putting it onto my timeline and actually doing it. So I hope that answered your question. Hector Luis says, what kind of superpower would you like to have? I've always thought about this, man. My favorite superpower would always be to pause time. Being able to pause time would just be crazy. Because you could convince people you have other powers. You could convince someone you could teleport if you could pause time. You could like pause time and walk somewhere and then unpause it. People would be like, whoa. You know what I mean? But if for some reason I couldn't have that power, then probably teleportation because I'm lazy as fuck. But definitely pausing time for sure. LandonGu 28 which says, hey, are you good at making analog horror series and do you want to work one together? Not at the moment. I feel like I just have too many other projects, but I have been thinking about doing some type of analog horror series because I think I'd be good at it. I think I have a lot of fresh ideas that are a little different than like your typical analog horror, but not at the moment. If I do one, I will keep your name in mind and I'll kind of screen you because I like to give everyone an equal opportunity when it comes to like stuff like that. But if I don't think you're good enough for the job, I'm gonna look for someone else. But yeah, I'll definitely think about it. SuperDfar asks, what do you think about growing so fast? Are you excited for your future on YouTube? Yes, I'm super excited about my future on YouTube, just because I feel like it's just getting started. This is the beginning of the entire, like, legacy of my channel, I would say. As for what I think about growing so fast, it's crazy, dude. I mean, like, literally 2 weeks went by and I gained like 10,000 subs, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy to me, like, how many people I'm reaching now. It's a little scary too, because like now I have to kind of watch what I say sometimes, because I know that for sure people are actually watching this video, and there's a little bit of pressure, that I don't want to disappoint anyone. It's kind of a blessing and also a little bit of a curse, because it's what I've always wanted, but I never thought about the downsides. But that's kind of what I think about growing so fast. I'm kind of glad I'm not growing too fast. I feel like when to go fast, I would have been like overwhelmed. I feel like I've been going at a very nice pace though, not too fast but not too slow. So I've been able to ease into things. So yeah. lqlxd asks another question. What's your Minecraft name? What is my Minecraft name? I think it's like, so I actually had a Minecraft channel back in the day called Bedwetter Gaming. So I imagine that my name on there is Bedwetter Gaming, even though it's a stupid name. I know it sounds so fucking stupid. I'll probably show like a little text on screen to like show you the channel, guys. But yeah, that's probably my name. If it's not that, then it is either BornKilla12100 or it's Venalox. But I haven't played on Minecraft in like a few months, so I don't remember it off the top of my head. No offense, but what is your favorite insect? I think it's those I think praying mantis, dude. There was one day that I could think of where I walked outside, there was a praying mantis like sitting outside of my home, and it was doing this like little boxing move, and I don't know, ever since that day it's just been like, I think it's hilarious whenever I see one. Every time I watch Kung Fu Panda, I'm like, that's awesome. Diego Rojas asks, do you have any favorite games and consoles? Which ones? I'll answer the console one because I've already talked about my favorite games. Favorite console of all time was the PSP. I think the PSP was like one of my favorites, just because it was hackable. I want to get a PSP Go for the same reason, because the PSP, I hacked it. I had all these emulators on it. It was literally a portable Game Boy, portable Sega, a portable and SNES, NES. Like, I could play all my old school games and retro games on it that I wanted, and I loved that console to death. I just, every time I think about like back in the day when I would bust it out, favorite of all time. Look, I'm trying to get a PSP Go, because you can actually hack your PSP Go's, which are like the tiny PSPs, PlayStation Portables that you like flip up like a phone screen almost. And those are like golden, because they can fit a lot of games on it, and they're really easy to use. So definitely those two consoles stick out to my mind. Alex the Birb, what is the hardest thing you worked on? The disturbing website Iceberg, hands down. I actually cried multiple times making that video from how stressed out I was, trying to meet a deadline, trying to please everyone that was watching the video. I felt so bad. Like, I feel like I was lying to my audience, telling them that I was gonna have it out in like 2 weeks when I didn't. And there was a lot of times when I was working on that I just wanted to stop and give up. That was definitely the hardest one. Ever since I've gotten that one out, I've realized how easy it is to make long videos, and definitely the only one on my channel that like came really close to making me not want to do this anymore. So definitely that one. Marco Apostol asks, are you getting tired of posting icebergs? Because I have a feeling that it's the most watched thing on your channel. It is definitely the most watched thing on my channel for sure. But as of late, I have been seeing more attention on non-iceberg videos, specifically the never searched this on YouTube. That one blew up for I don't even know why. It blew up for like no reason, basically. But I'm not getting tired of it. I would definitely say I'm not doing it as much, because I know how much work it is, and I know that it's just a lot for one person. So like, I've been kind of like leaning back on it, but I'm not tired of it. I love the idea still, and I love looking up new stuff every time. Who's Next asks, what if you discovered God wasn't real? For example, if you had an experience that confirmed it but couldn't prove it. That'd be crazy, dude. I mean, if God wasn't real, I'm not even religious to begin with, and I already kind of like buy into like the idea of God not being real, but there is that doubt there a little bit. If there was confirmed evidence, I would probably live the same way I do now. I always try to make every day like it's my last, and I always talk about making every day like it's your last, because you never know when you're going to pass. But I don't know, I wouldn't know like my actual reaction to that unless it happened. But that's probably as close as I can get. Mac G, Can you do analysis videos on multiple analog horror series such as Analog Archives, GHE, Mandela Catalog, just finished that one, Walton Files, Crystal View Records, and that seems to be it. So definitely going to be looking into the Walton Files for sure. I'll check out the other 3 you mentioned. I haven't heard of those yet. But yeah, if they're good, if they're as good as the Walton Files and the Mandela Catalog, then yeah, I don't see why not. Eryk Zysk or Eryk Zysk asks, do you enjoy participating in the act of playing video games? Yes, I do. I love video games. I've already answered that question a lot, but I want to answer everyone's question. So yeah, I love playing video games. Offline is not fun. Yes. Skivvy asks, how old are you? I am currently 22, gonna be 23, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I probably look like I'm like 18 maybe, but I'm 22. Gamer Rider 89, mayonnaise or mustard? If I had to pick one that I use most often, mayonnaise for sure. I use mayonnaise more. I just think it's better, dude. Tastes good. I put it on my bread to toast it instead of butter sometimes. Great. S8N asks, that beanie you have on is the original font for Smash 64. I happen to be in the 64 community and I'm professional. Do you play or just melee? 64 is better. You know, I actually, hot take, I think 64 is better. I love that game. I love the way it feels. And that's coming from a melee player, dude. Like, I love melee to death, but I'm not, you know, I'm objective, I would say. I think a lot of the other games have different things to offer, and I think 64 is sick. I've never played professionally myself. I've never gotten to any tournaments for it. The only reason I haven't is because, it's gonna sound so dumb, but I don't know if I'm supposed to bring like a certain controller. I don't know if you guys play on consoles anymore or what, because I know that in Melee we play on Wii's and shit. Like, is there some alternative that you guys use? Do you still use the regular controllers? Do you use weird pro controllers, or like, I don't know. But I've never wanted to go to a tournament for it because of that reason, but I definitely love the game. But professionally, I just play Melee for the most part. If you ever see me at a Smash tournament though, my tag is Venalox. You can look that up. But if I do ever go to one, you'll see that tag there. Lefo asks, will you ever make a video about Sad Satan? I believe you're talking about the video game Sad Satan. Maybe, because I've seen people talk about it before, and it is definitely one of those like great fits for the channel. So maybe at some point in the future I would. It might be the first game I ever talk about on the channel specifically, but yeah, I would love to do a video on that. Elton Salex asks, how tall are you, bro? I'm only 5'10", dude, so not getting any bitches. Nah, just kidding. I'm 5'10". Or I might be 5'9". Last time I went to the doctors, they said 5'10", but I don't know if it's because of the shoes I was wearing, but I'm pretty sure I'm just 5'10". Mind B Caper asks, do you play an instrument? I actually do. I'll probably insert a clip of me playing like the ukulele or something in here. But I used to play the ukulele. I still do play it. I have it up here. I haven't had much time for it lately, but I do plan on like taking some time aside these next few months and like actually learning some more songs. I used to play piano as well for a little bit, literally like 2 weeks, and I was trying to learn piano and I kind of gave up, but I learned a little bit of music on there. So yeah. Mr. Comment God asks, what's your favorite game? Already pretty much talked about this basically, but yeah, you can look at the other questions, man. Dragon XD Noob, I'm gonna read it as, you know, what I think he's saying. Are you gonna stream playing horror video games? Yeah, maybe stream in the future, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm just scared, bro. I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to like horror games. But I still play them every once in a while. I still play them when they come out because I do think they're interesting to play and like experience yourself. But I'm a big baby when it comes to them, so might not be as many streams of that as you might want. Jay was here asks, what's your favorite horror game? Favorite anime? Favorite horror game of all time? If Doki Doki Literature Club like is in that horror game genre, then definitely that, because I think that was one of the first games where I was like, wow, there's like so much that you can do with like the code in the game, make it delete itself, make it you restart and stuff, and like I feel like that game really makes you think about what's possible with like actual gaming and stuff. So that's definitely one of my favorites. Favorite anime of all time, gotta be Erased. I love Erased to death. Erased is like such a good anime. It's perfect for me. It had I love the cozy vibe it has sometimes. I love that the story is really good. I just feel like overall it's just a balanced anime. I think there's like not too much that's wrong with it, not too much that's like bad. Very good anime. I highly recommend it. Helpy and stuff. What's your favorite YouTube video? Captain Christian's video on the Miyazaki films. That freaking video essay is possibly the best video essay I think I've ever seen on anything. It's so good, and I'm telling you, I talk about it all the damn time. I probably said it like at least 6 times in this video, but Captain Christian is just something else, man. DT asks, do you need any kind of nightmares? I think you mean, do you have any nightmares? Yeah, every once in a while. I've been not having them as much lately though, and I think it's because my life's been kind of good. But whenever I do have nightmares, it's always like something chasing me and I'm trying to get away from it. But that was definitely the one I had a lot as a kid growing up, and I also still had it a few times even now, but definitely not as much anymore. What came first, the chicken or the egg? That's a good question, man. I'm gonna have to say the chicken, bro. You heard it here first. I'm not you. What's your favorite iceberg post? My favorite iceberg post of all time, probably the Disneyland iceberg. I think that iceberg is just that Disneyland attraction iceberg. I love that Disneyland iceberg. Like, it's just like one of my favorites. Like, just knowing that someone that has also experienced these rides went and made their own list of like what they think are the most like unknown and like not remembered. It's just a great way to like capture like that era of Disney, and I feel like it just does a lot for like old fans of like those rides. My girlfriend asks, my brother wants to know why you haven't seen the original Star Wars trilogy, the prequels, and Lord of the Rings. Holy shit. And both of her brothers commented on it too. So when the original Star Wars came out, it was like the year I was born, so I obviously couldn't watch it in theaters. And then when the other ones came out, my brothers would watch them in theaters without me, so I never felt the need to watch those movies. And even when the other ones came out, I was like so far into not watching it that I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. Lord of the Rings though, my brother always tries to get me to watch it. There's just something about seeing the cover and like seeing how big the books were that just gave off this boring vibe to me. I know they're not boring because I've seen some of the scenes from like The Hobbit and like some of the Lord of the Rings films, and I'm just like, they're clearly really good. I've just never set time aside to actually watch them. This question comes from Mr. Comment God. When do you think you will get 100k? I'm gonna be dead ass. If we're going at the same rate that we are right now, I will probably hit it by the end of January, if not the end of December. So that'd be fucking crazy. AS, what is your private keys to your crypto? It is 30th Century Homer. What iceberg did you made? Like 5 of them, bro. I don't know what the hell you're asking. I think you mean what's your favorite one that you made? Disneyland one. But I don't know if you like wrote that wrong, or if English is your second language, then like my bad for pointing this out. But top text, do you consider yourself a good person? Yeah, nowadays I would. Definitely a no from when I was like 19 and younger. When I hit 19 years old, I did a lot of self-reflection and like changing myself to be not as selfish, not as much of a criminal, and just doing better in the world for the most part. So now I do, but I wouldn't have said the same thing 2 years ago. Sahed 120 or Sade 120 asks, what is your name and what is your favorite iceberg? The Disneyland iceberg series that I have, my name is Raymond Sanchez. Elwack says, how do I comment on YouTube videos? Also, how do I type? Seems like you figured both of those out. So next question. TJ Overload asks, what's your cup size? About this big. Jordan Groves asks, how are you? I'm fucking great, dude. Annihilator Knight TC2 asks, what's your opinion on Roblox? Roblox is fucking awesome. I think it's crazy that you have access to so many games in one central hub. Like, that is literally the future. I know people like to make memes and shit about Roblox and like talk shit about it, but if you really think about it, it's crazy that this exists and that it's like basically free. I will never like talk shit about that game ever. I think that game's crazy good. Sammy J asks, are you a TV? What? Future Ray coming at you guys really quick. It's actually January 9th right now. It's around 3 a.m. I just realized I didn't answer 3 of the questions that I was asked on Twitter, so I'm gonna do it kind of live with you guys like right now. So the first question comes from Night Fanter, whose Twitter handle is @BricksFilm. What's your favorite ARG, distributed media, or creepypasta? I actually already responded to this guy. I told him that my favorite ARG or favorite distributed media on YouTube right now was Baphomet-kun, because right now it kind of is. I'm pretty sure in the original Q&A I said Die Fantasy, and that's because of all time, if I were to like recommend a video to somebody, I would probably tell them to go watch Die Fantasy, but Baphomet-kun is a close second. The stuff that Baphomet-kun comes up with is just freaking awesome. I love watching all their videos. They're very cozy and also like very unfamiliar. It's a very unique feeling that you'll get when you watch those videos, to be honest. Like I've never experienced those emotions or those feelings when watching anything else on YouTube. Second to last question comes from Draw, whose Twitter handle is @draw_233. Hello, so I discovered you have an interest in the Mandela catalog, so this brought me here with this question. Have you heard of this channel by chance? And they linked Gemini Home Entertainment. Pretty sure someone also mentioned that earlier in this video as well. They said GHE. I have seen Gemini Home Entertainment. I am planning on making a video on them after the Walton Files. The reason that the Mandela catalog kind of jumped ahead of everything was just because it kind of took the internet by storm, and I wanted to hop on the hype train before like it kind of sailed. The very last question comes from Amateus Precious with a space saying Rufa. Twitter handle is @NovaFury8. What's your nationality and what do you think is the most challenging thing about editing videos? I would say I'm American. I'm pretty sure that's like my nationality, right? I'm pretty sure that what you're looking for though is like why is my skin brown? I'm Mexican. A lot of people think that I'm Filipino for some reason, but I'm not. But I was parents were born in the U.S. and my grandparents were born in the U.S. I think one of my great-grandparents weren't born in the U.S. I might be wrong about that though. I don't really know a lot about my family history, but I know I'm basically like Hispanic or Latino. But I would identify as just American, to be honest. I'd say the most challenging thing about editing is just finding the willpower to do it, I guess. At least for me, because like a lot of like I would say enjoyment comes from like absorbing the media and like doing research for like these various topics. My least favorite part is definitely doing the editing. The way I try to make it more enjoyable for me is finding new things to put in, like new edits or new like animations to throw in. But I would say that the hardest part for me, the most challenging thing for me, is just finding the willpower to actually sit down and just actually edit the video out, just because I know how daunting it is to just look at like an hour-long timeline and be like, fuck, I have to do this entire thing. All right, so with those questions out of the way, I will let the old Ray take it from here. All right, guys, and that was the questions for the 60,000 subscriber special. Obviously, we have more than 60,000 subscribers as of late. We just hit, I think as of today, it's 78,000. By the time I finish this video and upload it, it's probably going to be 80,000. But thank you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough for putting me in this position to make videos for a living. I'm doing this full time right now, and it's so cool that I can actually do this. Like, it's so cool to me, man. Like I'm getting a little emotional right now, but like it's just crazy to me that like I have these ideas for videos and I put them on the internet and you guys just watch them and I'm getting paid for that. It blows my mind every day that I wake up. I can't thank everyone enough for actually staying loyal and watching the channel, because it's such a blessing to be able to do this and be able to like just work from home and do what I want. So I love you all. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you asked a question, I love you for doing that. Thank you for making like the video possible. I hope I got to answer everyone's questions as good as I can. I know that like some people type their questions weird, or like I tried my best to make this as good as I could. So if you guys like this video, please let me know if I answered your question great in the comments. I'm not really gonna say anything else because I don't think I really need to say anything else. But just thank you guys. Like, you guys are the reason I'm able to do this. Like, you watching this make this possible. So thank you. And with all that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.